Welcome to the Garage Audit. My name is Ivan, and this is Thor Media. Today we're in Belpre, Ohio, and we're visiting Connor at Mirror Image Detailing. Let's go in and check out his shops. Not just one, he's got 3. Let's go visit Connor. No. Morning, Connor.
Morning, how are you?
Great, yourself?
Pretty good.
I'm gonna get you a microphone
Awesome.
so we can hear you.
Yeah. Let's put it right here. All right, good?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
So show me around.
All righty. Well, we'll start with the detail shop.
Okay. So you're
And,
divided amongst 3 buildings?
Yeah, so pretty much the way I have it set up, because I just wanted everything not contaminating other things.
Right.
So we have, this is the detail shop. We do, typical exterior, interior detailing, maintenance washes.
Yeah.
And then we built this shop specifically for ceramic coatings.
Okay.
Start to finish, they don't move. We pull it in, get them on the lift.
Yeah.
If we're doing wheels off, and then all the way start to finish.
Good.
And then that's our window tinting shop.
Okay.
So of course you don't want these 2 things
No.
getting tint dirty. So
Yeah.
we separated them all up. But this is the original building that I started with, and then
Okay.
it just kept on growing.
Yeah, excellent.
So we'll start going in the customer lobby here.
Yeah.
And then nothing extravagant. I don't have a big lobby, but this is where we meet the customers, start talking over the packages, and
Yeah.
where we stock some products and
Good.
towels. And then this is kind of where the work starts going on. This is the wash bay.
Okay.
Pretty much. This is where we start doing all the washing, decontamination.
Yeah.
And then I know this is going to be your fun part. You see too many products.
A few, but that's fine.
But yeah.
So we've got the chemicals here,
Yep.
extractors, vacuum cleaners,
Yep.
fans.
Yeah, try to keep those kind of under there so that way they're kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
I just got my toolbox for if we're doing some car stuff here.
Right.
And I'm trying to work on slowly getting these things out of here, but
Yeah. Gives you more space.
yeah, more or less.
And
But
a deep fryer?
yeah, it's a little grill if we have. A little,
Okay.
It's just a grill. So if we
Okay, it
wanna
looks like a
kinda-
deep fryer, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just if we decide to make some burgers and have a little fun,
Okay,
fun
excellent.
day with some cornhole and stuff.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, so like I said, this is the wash bay. We got, the drying rack for drying towels over there. And then
Yeah.
where I put the buckets. And then, when we clean the buckets out, we put the tools in the middle shelf.
Okay, good.
And then, in here is where after we get them all washed and decontaminated, we start, doing the polishing and, where we put we prep it and put the sealants and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then kind of the way I have it organized with the pads is I just got these little totes that we put the particular pads in.
Good.
And then, I've got totes for vacuum attachments, different type of drill brush attachments. And
Yeah.
so off, 4 down there. A ton of interior tools.
Yeah.
You probably are like, whoa. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of where the detailing goes down. And
Okay.
and then, we stored gloves and tape in here. Some of the coatings that we use in there
Yeah.
with the pads, and then that's just, the polishes and stuff.
Good.
Honestly, this is about all we use anymore, to be honest with you.
Gold standard, yeah.
I've kind of taken all the other products. We just don't, after using that, it's hard to go back because
Yes.
it's like it's so safe and you don't have to, we still tape off, but it's just so easy and you just kind of change the pads up.
Yes.
And then you just use one and it's less confusing for the guys.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
have all these different.
55?
54.
54?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did a light enhancement polish. We used, gold standard on it, and we just put a 1-year coating on it. But yeah, no, it turned out pretty good because he wanted to preserve it. Obviously, he doesn't want to go crazy in paint correction, but he wanted to do some gloss enhancement. So we did, gold standard polish with the yellow pad, and he's thrilled to death. He just wanted to keep it here till tomorrow, and he came and looked at it and was blown away.
Beautiful. On a lift as well, so you've got a lift in here?
Yep. Yeah, we've got a lift in every, detail area more or less. So that way if somebody does want to wheels off, we can do that.
Also, for cleaning the interior, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't. I think I've only done that on one car because it was like a Corvette and it was so low.
Yeah.
And then I did that one time and it made a huge difference.
Yeah, for us, we had lifts under just about every car in the shop.
Oh, really?
For the same reason.
Yeah.
It's, lift it up, you're not bending over. When you're polishing, it's at the right height. When you're vacuuming, it's at the right height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're debating putting one in the tint shop or not because you do a Corvette. We tinted a Corvette yesterday.
Yeah.
He literally had to sit down on a stool because it's so low to the ground. You can't tint like this. It's awkward. So he's been trying to get me to get a lift for the tint shop too.
Good.
But this is the little laundry room area.
Yeah.
That we wash the towels and applicators, and this is kind of like the dedicated motorcycle spot.
Okay.
I try not to do too many motorcycles because it's not the most favorite thing to do, but when we do, this is kind of the area we do it in.
Right.
People bring us random things for us to clean up. This is where we do it with them.
Yeah. Washer, dryer, always a handy thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the towel cabinet. I have a lot of towels. But yeah, it's just kind of like organized into, different type of piles of towels. And, this is kind of like the exterior. And then, we got the interior parts and different, types as well.
Good.
And, different glass towels. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the towel cabinet here. And that's really all the details.
That's the detailing shop, yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll sort of rewind and go through. I'll give you a few suggestions. And here it's great. You've got great lighting. The only lighting that's missing is a little low down. I know you've got some on the other side there.
Yeah.
But on this side, we'll have something matching.
Yeah. Right now, they're not turned on.
Oh, they're not turned on. Okay, you got them.
I didn't know, because like with my camera, sometimes it makes the flickering really weird. So, because there's just LEDs everywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if it would mess the camera if it was too much.
No,
but yeah, I do have them there.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's excellent. You've got, like I say, nice lighting, which is always important.
Yeah.
A lot of shops, they're a little on the dark side. You've got space for 2 vehicles in here, roughly. Ish.
Yeah, if you can keep it back and then kind of angle it, you can.
Yeah, okay.
But it gets a little close, but yeah, you definitely can.
Okay. Like the hose reel holder, it's always nice.
Yeah, 06 Corvette wheel.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Do you still use the propane heater there, or?
Nope. Yeah, I ended up getting some central heat and air installed.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I just kind of left them there. I didn't know what to do, so I was like,
no, just in case. You never know. If this one breaks down, at least you're not freezing.
Yeah.
But yeah, because those generate a lot of moisture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense then, because I had to do a lot of dehumidifying in the winter and I didn't know why.
Yes.
That makes sense then.
Yeah, the gas heaters like that put off a lot of moisture, but.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So everything in here is nice. Like I say, the nice lighting, that really, really helps. Whenever you're doing, whether an interior or an exterior, lighting is the most important thing you can have.
Yeah.
Other than that, the lift is a nice addition. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't have lifts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Excellent. Socket holder?
Yeah, it's never been used.
Okay.
It just kind of, I got it, I was like, oh, that's cool, and then I never use it.
Yeah, okay. I like the fact that your workbench isn't cluttered.
Yeah.
A lot of shops that have a workbench, it ends up being a storage item.
Yeah.
And just stuff accumulates on it and it stays there, so.
I'm not gonna lie, I did a little cleaning before you showed up.
Okay.
It happens, it tends to happen where stuff gets stored, but I do try to kind of cut down on that with having bins that have purposes.
Right.
So that way you just don't have pads laying everywhere.
Yep.
And I've got these to where it's like different types of, things that we do. And then even as far as breaking down interior tools with like different types of, brushes.
Yeah.
And, you got that from a stiff brush to a black one that's not as stiff to the little toothbrush ones. And,
right.
And then, the different types of swabs you can use for the cracks.
Good.
So it's like that way there's a purpose for every little thing to try and help everything just not get cluttered and and helps the guys know where to keep things.
Good. I like the fact that you've got a microscope to inspect the paint. Not many people have that.
I do.
That's this here. So yeah, they're great. I've always had one with me. You can show the customer that bird etching or something like that look, your paint is cracked. No matter how much I polish this, I'm not going to fill these little cracks.
Yeah.
So
well, that actually saved my my butt a couple weeks ago because there was a customer that they brought in a vehicle and we got on nice and clean. There was a rock chip.
Yeah.
And, we only had it was a wash, like our most entry-level wash.
But of course, you caused the rock chip.
Yeah, she, of course. And, they were like, that rock chip wasn't there when I brought it. So I'm like, okay. I said, well, let me just get this and I'll inspect it. Because honestly, it was a quick wash. You want to get it done in an hour. You're not doing the most,
No.
So I got that. We looked at it and I'm like, you see how rusted it is down in there with this, microscope.
Yeah.
That doesn't just happen in an hour.
No.
And so I explained that to her. She agreed. And she's like, that was actually a really cool way to show me that was already there.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I took before pictures, but you're so far away, it's hard to see something that small.
Right.
But she really did appreciate that, and that was kind of a way to professionally approach a situation like that.
Right. It could have been, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being an unhappy customer. Now you have a happy customer.
Yeah, exactly.
That cart down there.
Yeah, so it's just, that's a little contraption I have, to where if we do get a little more in depth with, the lighting, I've got different types of lighting. We've got, the frosted cover and then more of a direct. And
okay.
And they're all different colors. Like one's more blue hue, one's more yellow hue.
Okay.
So it gives you all these different types of scenarios to see
Excellent.
stuff. And of course, if you only want, you can just unscrew the yellow bulbs if you want the blue ones.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of just got these from Amazon and went to Home Depot and bought the bulbs, and they clamp on, and you just kind of put them to an extension cord.
Yeah.
So then just kind of rig it up like that.
Excellent.
But yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did. So that way, it kind of alleviates having stands around to where you can keep this with you and then get the polishers and, the DIY spray, and then you're just keeping it all organized. And you're not having to drag this and a lamp around with you. So that's kind of what I came up with. I saw something similar on a Facebook page.
Yeah.
But they had it on a stand, and I'm like, well, how can I keep it into one so I'm not moving multiple things?
Right. Excellent.
That's what I came up with.
Yeah. No, that's a good little invention there.
Yeah. And then I try to have a little, storage area so that way they're not up against the wall.
Yep.
And, we built that to the height expecting measuring the cart.
Right. And you've got enough space to work on either side of the car with the doors open. So that's always a nice way to do it. Excellent. Let's move on to the other room.
Alrighty.
Actually, we'll stop there. We'll let Sylvie get a bit of B-roll in here. Oh, she's going to come back later. Get B-roll. Okay.
That works.
So in here, do you want to get the customer?
No, he's actually here for tent. I told my tenter when he pulls in.
Okay.
Yeah.
In here, a little bit accumulation of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But missing lighting in here. If you look at that room versus this room, there's a big brightness difference.
Oh yeah.
And the wash bay needs light.
Okay.
So one thing you could do in here, you've got all these uprights where you have the shelves.
Yeah.
Putting some of those LED strip lights that you have on the ceiling, you could put one in each one of these uprights.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That way it would give you lighting, could be on a switch, and then you get the side lighting.
Yeah.
The upper lighting as well, these bulbs, they look like they're about 4,000 K.
Okay.
If you up them to a 5 or 6,000 K, it changes the lighting in here. It doesn't increase any lighting, it just changes the lighting that you can see things more visibly. Because, as an example on this truck, this is a dark zone. You can't see there. So having side lights would help.
Okay.
The other thing, and this is in every shop, the doors create a dark hole.
Yeah.
So if we go, if we go behind the truck, this one your lights are fairly far back.
Yeah.
But still, it's dark back here. So one thing that I've done in the past, in a shop like this, is use on the uprights of the door, put lights there.
Yeah.
So the lights shine in both sides of the tailgate here.
Yeah.
You get that. So a lot of the time you're probably working with the doors open, but not in today's temperature.
Yeah.
Oh no, you've got air conditioning. So no, you're keeping the doors closed. So
sometimes we still like the normal, the nice breeze.
yeah, if it's a nice day.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's too hot, doors are closed. If it's too cold, doors are closed. So having the light on either side of the door here, shining, on a bit of an angle towards the tailgate, that's one thing. Okay. Another thing that we've done is actually put lights on the doors.
Yeah.
With a cord, one of those spiral cords. Okay. So the door goes up and down. You don't have to unplug it. But now you have lights at this level.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be great to do something like that.
Yeah. That door obviously doesn't get used.
Nope, it just doesn't. You can see where I started painting and
Yeah.
then I got busy and then you can see where I stopped.
Yeah. So actually, it's a good thing you stopped. The gray walls suck a lot of light out of it as well.
Yeah.
So having the white walls looks bland, but it actually does help a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and then you got your HVAC unit there.
Yep.
Nice size compressor as well. That's always a good addition to any shop. Now, do you have one in each shop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. There's one in every shop. Yeah, I tried to get that one. That one's been a great workhorse, but they discontinued it. Unfortunately.
Yes.
I'm sad about that.
Yeah.
Because that thing is amazing. Loud, but it works great.
Yeah, it does what it needs to do. So, excellent. Well, let's check out the rest of your shops.
Alrighty. Well, we'll go over to the coating
Oh,
shop now.
you have a drain in here?
Well, I think they filled it in because unfortunately it doesn't drain anymore.
Okay.
Because this used to be 2, and then I don't know if something happened, it collapsed, but then they like concreted it in but left a little hole. And water does not go through it for some reason.
Oh, this actually could have been so this was a mechanic shop before?
Yes, yeah, it was a mechanic shop, tire shop, and an oil change shop.
So this could have actually been the lift post that was here.
Oh, okay.
For a cassette style lift.
Yeah, okay.
So they may have just cut the lift off of it
and filled it
left it there.
Okay.
Because those lifts were a ecological nightmare in the sense that they would eventually start leaking oil, and then under here it's probably all oil from that, and they just keep filling back in the 60s, 70s, they didn't really care. They just kept adding oil to it. But that's probably what's down there.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes sense.
If you know someone with a metal detector, they can probably beep, beep, beep. So yeah, the cassette style lifts, they just had the one post coming up. You probably have airline there.
Yeah, that's where it used to be mounted, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so it had the control for the lift. Yeah. So
that would make would make sense. Yeah, because they changed it to it was an alignment lift.
Yeah.
That's where they had that. But yeah, that makes sense that before the alignment lift they had that.
Right, and you probably have another one over there.
Yeah, they used to have a lift on each bay, but I took them all out.
Yeah, okay. So that side has a drain, though.
Yeah, that side's actually a drain.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe this side, but then it kind of makes sense because that's sloped.
Yeah.
And this isn't.
Yeah, so this was probably one of those in-floor lifts that disappeared sometime in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think they use those anymore.
No, they still make them, the cassette-style lifts, but they have a bit of a, they have to do a lot of work to prep.
Yeah, totally.
With those. Yeah.
All right. Like I said, this is our coating shop.
Yeah.
Slowly work it over there.
Right.
Because you can see we got more DIY products over here than we do there.
Yeah.
Because we started utilizing the system more on our coatings.
Okay.
Than we have our details, but I'm trying to slowly convert us over there.
Okay, good.
But yeah, this is the ceramic coating shop. It's still a work in progress. I still gotta, I know you're against it. I was gonna paint the garage doors black just to kind of give the theme together a little bit more.
Yeah, so the theme looks good until you're actually working in it.
Yeah.
I recently did the garage audit of Jamie's shop, and he painted one wall black.
Yeah.
And he's repainting it back to white.
He notices a big difference.
Oh, he said I might as well turn the lights off.
Yeah. Huh.
So, yeah.
But yeah, as far as like organizing, try to utilize, because the building's 32 by 36 by 12. So I had to utilize some room on the back walls. And so my goal was to put a shelf over here and minimize the shelving.
Yes.
Because learn that from you.
Right.
Because what you say is true. It becomes clutter.
Yeah.
It just does. And, but then that HVAC unit kind of took that side and messed it all up. But yeah, it's just we got the shelves, wash buckets and whatnot go at the top.
Yep.
And then just kind of break it down into, the products as far as washing, decontamination and whatnot.
Good.
But yeah, and then we've got, the pressure washer set up. I'm working on getting, like how I have it on a shelf over there.
Yes.
So it's all nice and neat looking.
Yeah.
But, then we start getting working, and then that organization side of things start to just slowly get put on the back burner.
Yeah.
But
now I know, because the pressure washer you're using, it's a little difficult to do, but technically speaking, you actually want the pressure washer above the hose.
Oh, really?
because over time with pressure, this will leak down, it will start leaking, and that causes an issue with the pressure washer. So ideally have the pressure washer above the hose reel.
So I did it right over there then.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you're using a 1/4 inch hose.
Yeah.
You know, when you're using a pressure washer, basically it's coming out of this little nozzle here. So whether you have a 5/8 hose or a 1/4 inch or 3/8, it really doesn't matter because you're restricting down to that. Now, it restricts the flow a little bit, but it's nothing that's going to change anything, but it makes the hose a lot more maneuverable, a lot easier to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to fix that then. But yeah, it's a good thing to know that now because I was definitely going to put it closer to the ground.
Yeah, okay.
So now I know to put it up there.
Yeah, you know, and that pressure washer, you could take off that cart quite easily. And just wall mount it.
That's what I used to have over there until I got it's the same one I got over there. Yeah. You'll like my contraption setup for that one. But yeah, pretty much the way I have our products storing over here is we've got, tried to pretty much break it in half. Yep. So that way we each have our own product. We're not stealing from each other. Good. So this is our, towel applicator and towels. Yep. See, we're due for our monthly laundry. Right. But you got the coating applicators and the different type of polishing, and then our fresh towels for when we actually do leveling. And then we probably need to organize these, but the pads get stored up there. Polishing things are usually here, and then just like other products that we'll probably use in here down there. Yep. And then we just have junk towels. Where if we're wiping out a wheel well and we don't want to use a good one. Right. You know where they are. They're separated, so they're easy to use. Exactly. And then just kind of we got each side here has tape and gloves is what we try to store in here. And then the coatings we just kind of shared it in the middle there with the coatings. And like I said, it's tape over here, and then literally the identical matching. The mirror, mirror image. That's excellent. And then we have our storage facility up over there for the battery chargers. Just kind of, like I said, tried to have a purpose for everything. Yeah. And how are you liking the new DIY polisher? I do like it actually. Yeah. Yeah, we've got it over there. You probably can't see it, but. I saw the. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I saw the battery, but I didn't. Yeah, I do actually really like it because I did not like the Milwaukee one personally. The weight is too much. Yeah. And it just gives you numbs your hand. The vibrations powerful, and it just your hand hurts after you use it, and your hand doesn't really hurt all too much after you use that one. That's the one thing I noticed about almost electric polishers like that. They have just such a crazy vibration to them almost, if that makes sense. Yeah. And that one you can almost use it on the whole car and not, you might feel it towards the end of it just a wee bit, but it's not. No, it's not crazy. Not anything crazy. And you can definitely tell a difference with the 25 millimeter. Yeah. You really can. Yeah, it does cut more. Yeah. You wouldn't think 4 would matter, but it does. Yeah. But and then we've got our own same thing, little rolling carts. Yeah. And we just try to, more or less, we store the polishers just on the cart because I used to just put them away and then put them back, and I'm like, what's the point in moving them all back and forth? Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. So we just store them on the carts now, and then keep. There's might be some pads that are starting to get worn down, when we're going through, we put them on the middle, clean them, put them back. Good. And then that way they're ready for the next go. Yeah. And then, like I said, we tried to mirror it the best I could, but this really put a dampener in that pretty bad. I didn't know what to do, so I did the best we could over here. Good. And like I said, I've got my little, until I get my shelf, I've been borrowing my stool. Yeah, okay. It works. But it's below it, so now, like I said, I do know I need to put it up there, so that's what we'll do. And then, like I said, we got the little shelves. Very good. Yeah. And that shelf's going to go out of here. That was temporary until I put this up. Okay. I need to get it out of here. But that shelf won't be there, and that way both sides are the same. Yeah. More or less is the goal. So that way, no matter if somehow the sides get flipped, you're not wondering where stuff is. Right. Exactly. So in here, beautiful layout. It's clean. It's organized, which is amazing. Again, missing a bit of lighting back here. Yep. So front and back, front and back. I notice you've got the lights on a stand, but having to not move lights
helps over time.
Yes,
so again, you know, you could have lights, like little projector lights here, that would help. Same thing on the garage door, like I mentioned on the other side.
Yeah.
Have the you know, the lights on the door, that because your doors aren't that tall, they're 8.5 or 9.5 feet.
I think they're 10.
10, yeah. Okay.
If I recall. But yeah, no, I've been trying to figure out how to do that. I've actually been trying to watch some YouTube videos because I saw somebody who did that, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, because I just didn't think it'd be doable with how, you know, it goes up.
Yeah. So like basically these lights here, they're very easy to put on the door itself, and then from there, if you have the, you know, a plug here.
Yeah.
So whether the door goes down or up, as long as you have enough cord that it follows, or you learn to unplug every time, which is annoying.
Yeah.
So have, you know, one of those curly Q type cords. They work quite well for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We complain that we feel like the sides are good, but then you get to the lowers, and then you feel like it's really dark.
Yeah, it is.
And
they sell a, I'll try to find the link for you, but it's a garage door roller system that just replaces these.
Yeah.
And the roller, instead of being this way, is spring loaded, so it's always pressing
oh, that'd be nice.
against the outside.
Yeah, because this is like an air efficiency nightmare. Like our heater in the summer, or our air conditioning is like always going off. And then like if it's a windy day, it's bad. It's really
you can
bad.
hear it clacking back and forth. Yeah. So I'll try to find that link. I'll put it down below if I find it too in this video. But they're just a new style. You unbolt this, you bolt that in place, but it's spring loaded, so it always keeps the door.
Okay. Is it on every single one, or just like?
Yeah, you put it on every one. It's a kit that you buy that, you know, depending on how big your door is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, because this thing gets annoying throughout the day. It's like on a windy day, it sounds like it's going to fall over.
Yeah, exactly. We had the same situation in our daughter's shop, so.
Yeah. And then this air compressor is actually a little different than the other one. It's one of those like silent air technology.
Yeah.
You still definitely hear it, but you don't feel like you're screaming when it's, you know, pumping in the air in.
Yeah, because it's a slower revolution motor. You've got 1,700 RPM or 1,100, depending on the.
Yeah, and they've got some muffler system on the back of it. Like there's like this huge box back there.
Yeah. The other thing you could do with your other compressor to quiet it down, it's sort of the location of it, maybe not, but the air intake for the compressor, have it outside.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like you can run a long tube and still do that?
Yeah, you'd have to, like a larger tube.
Yeah.
But you know, this one being so close to the wall, you could literally straight shot outside, and put one of those what looks like a dryer vent on the outside, but they have them that just have a screen inside of them, so you can't, you know, don't get bugs or whatever coming in. But at the same time, a lot of the noise from a compressor comes from the intake.
Oh, okay.
So if you can eliminate that, put it outside, that quiets it down.
Oh, okay.
Because I know putting the compressor outside when it freezes, not a good idea.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, more or less, that's kind of, I mean, you can see the lifts over here. We got different lifts over here than we do over there. These are like more of a, like drive over, place the blocks where you want.
Right.
I will admit I like these way more than those, because these are sturdy lifts. Like when you get the car on there, it's barely budging. That one, it's rocking, and I will admit it's kind of scary sometimes. Yeah. But these are like, when they're on there, they're on there. Yeah, and you can get a car like this Corvette that's nice and low on it without an issue. The other ones, you have to like boards. Yeah, that's what we had in our shop as well. You know, we had 2x10s on either side. And so. Yeah, and those aren't light to move around. No, they're not. So these are fixed to the floor. They're not going anywhere. So excellent. Yeah. These, they're actually, you can move them around. Like you jack it up with this rod, and then you slide the wheels on it. So you can move it if you want. It's technically not fixed to the ground, but like, they are movable. So if you have a flat floor, it's, you know, concreted and none of this stuff. Right. Easy to move around. Yeah. Okay. And what floor system did you use? I actually got this stuff off Alibaba, because it's literally $1 a tile. Oh, nice. And then, but the shipping kind of gets you a little bit. But still, it's like a fraction of the price. And I will admit, this stuff does hold up great.
How long have you had them in here?
It's been a little over a year.
Okay.
And you can tell over here, I had to paint some gray ones. I didn't order enough black ones.
Okay.
So if they're peeling, it's because it's paint.
Okay.
All the other ones are not peeling, but yeah, I had to improvise over here because I did not do the right math.
That's fine.
But yeah, no, these are good. But I think the one thing I've noticed, because people with race decks and Swiss tracks say you can put a jack stand on them and they're fine.
Yeah.
These,
not these.
No. But you can drive about whatever the heck you want over them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you cannot use a jack or jack stands.
Okay.
It just goes right through them. But
yeah.
if you're not doing that, if you have lifts like us, it's great.
Yeah. And if you wanted to put jack stands on these, get a 1/4-inch steel plate, put it on the bottom of the jack stand, distributes the weight, and then you're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for this shop. And I guess we got the air blowers too. But
yeah. Yeah, they're not, and I like the fact that you've got the hearing protection right there with the blower.
Yeah.
A necessary thing with those. So, yeah.
If you're not having your headphones in, I recommend those.
Yeah.
Or you'll be screaming at people when you're done using it.
Yeah. Good. Let's go see the tin shop.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Yeah, my next project is to get a dump trailer and have all this trash from construction hauled out of here. But yeah, this is the tent shop. We chose the epoxy floor on this route. Next week they're coming in and we're taking out the mat because as you can see, you cannot clean it.
No.
Literally, you can mop it, scrub it, and it never looks clean. So he's going to be here next week, and he's changing it to shiny.
Okay.
Because you can just squeegee that out, and it's great.
Yeah.
I've had both, and this used to be our coating shop.
Okay.
And then before we started tinting, and so I wanted this so if it got wet, we weren't dying.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so next week this is getting redone so we can actually keep the floor clean because that's the only gripe I have about the tent shop is it always just looks dirty with the floor. But yeah, so there is an air compressor over here as well.
Right.
We don't really use it for tinting. But it's over here.
It's there just in case.
Yeah, and as you see, we go with a theme here. It's just gray and black.
Yeah. Good.
And orange.
And the windows are tinted in the shop.
Yeah,
Amazing.
you like our scrap?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we do our scrap, so we're not wasting it.
Yeah, exactly. So every window's a little different. It's an art piece now.
Yep.
So good.
Mosaic.
Yeah. Same thing, HVAC in here, so excellent.
Yeah, we have a TV that we never really use.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets turned on, most of the time it's off.
Okay.
But yeah, we got same thing, storage cabinets in the back here.
Yeah.
A little different though, because it's window tinting, so it's kind of a different, scenario. But we've got, towels and spray bottles and try to keep that nice and organized.
Good.
And then, just stuff up in here, things we use to clean here and there.
Yeah.
And then, I guess nothing there.
Yeah.
And then just gloves and scrub pads and stuff like that.
Good.
And then we got nothing down there. And then the plotter system. And I kind of made this little cabinet, the little computer.
Okay.
We got the little rolls on that. And so that's what, we send, we type in 25 Kia Telluride, put it on there, it sends it over here, cuts it out for us. And,
excellent.
But yeah, and then the rack to keep that.
The inventory,
a little organized. Because we didn't have that before and it was not organized. And so I got the little rack to make our lives a little better as far as that goes.
Good. Excellent. Yeah, nice shop. Again, lighting down low, but for tinting, it's not as critical.
Yeah.
But when it was a detailing shop, now do you ever cross use the shops? In other words, you've got 5 coating jobs in, but you have no tint.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say. Like there has been. Well, yeah, I guess there has been one time, but it's really only been one time. Because I try to really not do that. Yeah. Just because then you're moving things, you're taking stuff from there over here, and then things will get put back. And
right.
So yeah, I really try to make that not happen.
Okay.
Usually I'm pretty good sometimes at not double booking.
Yeah. Okay. And then PPF. Is that something
we're getting into
at?
that.
Yeah.
I think I really need to jump on that because we're turning a lot of that down.
Yes.
Like I'm sending it out to Columbus.
Okay.
And it's getting to the point to where I'm kind of getting tired of doing that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and the customer driving an hour away is not fun either.
Yeah.
Right? An hour and a half?
Yeah, it's between an hour and a half and 2 hours, depending where you're going in Columbus.
Okay.
But yeah, the PPF, I think we're just going to make the coating shop that. And then I have to try and figure out where I'm going to stick a plotter in there and it not get in the way, because washing.
Washing, dust, and PPF do not match.
Yeah.
So
I almost thought about putting it over here somewhere, maybe taking the air compressor out, because we just don't use it over here for no reason, and sticking it on that wall and making that the PPF wall, more or less.
Okay. So you do the PPF in here, or?
No, we'd end up, that's going to be the part that's going to make it weird. We'd cut it over here,
right?
Walk it over there.
Okay.
Because I just don't think I can keep it over there and not get the plotters wet.
Yeah.
Even if you're covering it, moisture kind of gets scary around electrical.
Okay. And actually, you could, upgrade this plotter to a larger one and use one plotter for both.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't know if it would make it hard to have to switch the blades all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, it depends. There are some manufacturers that their tint and their PPF use the same blade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So
that'd make it a lot easier. That's the side of the detailing world that I don't really understand yet, because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I've put a little PPF on my truck, just kind of squeegee it on there to play with it to see what it's actually like.
Yeah.
It's impressitive.
Yeah,
I got the self-healing and I think it's like ceramic infused.
Yes.
But it's hydrophobic. Good. And it's pretty. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's a nice service to add.
Yeah.
It's one that costs like $20K to get into. By the time you buy the plotter, the inventory, the training, all that. But once you're there and once you get over the learning curve, it takes about a year to be profitable with PPF. But now in here, do you have enough tint to have the shop full all the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, we only started tinting in August of last year. I mean, it has just been something that has been requested from customers nonstop, and I was just like, I do not want to get in it. I had no interest in it.
Right.
And Preston was really interested in it. He said, I want to go to school. I want to tent. That's what I want to do. So that's what we made happen. He went to school for a week.
Yeah.
And then ever since, it took off. I mean, it has been nonstop. And so we love it. We're glad we took it on. And, that's kind of what I'm hoping PPF might happen like.
Yes.
Because we do get those calls.
Good.
Because I literally turned the lady down yesterday.
Yeah. Not always fun. So.
No.
Very good. Well, let's wrap it up. And do you have any other questions for me?
Main is just things you think we could do to be more efficient within maybe some of the shops, or maybe some products you think in the detail side we could cut back on and stuff like that.
There's always products you can cut back on.
Yeah.
The goal there is, especially for you, you've got what, 5 employees?
3.
3? Okay. Yeah. With the 3 employees, and you'll be adding more as the summer comes, etc. Having only one choice for everything is ideally the best thing. Yeah. So when you say wash the car, they don't choose between soap and rinseless. Whichever one you choose, that's fine, but only have one way to wash the car.
Yeah.
Only have one prep chemical. Only have one iron remover. Only have one of everything.
Yeah.
Figure out what works for you, use that, and move forward.
Okay.
But you've got I notice you have got wheel cleaners, tire cleaners, APCs.
Yeah.
Most APCs will do the job of a wheel cleaner, of a tire cleaner, so you don't need to double up and triple up. And from what I see, you tend to have nicer cars here, so your pricing is probably the highest in the area.
Yeah.
Which is excellent. That's the good way to go. We're gonna go back to the bus and give him his final report card.
Connor has a very unique setup and has a few little things to change. A bit of lighting here and there, a bit of paint once in a while. But in the meantime, he's got a very functional shop. His employees are happy. They're doing what they need to do. And most importantly, his customers are happy. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, please leave them below. And we'll see you in the next Garage Audit.